you will work 90,000 hours in your lifetime.
The most important thing that you can discover or learn, which is what I call your life's task.
Starting to try to figure out, like, what are we doing here? Like, on this planet, on this earth, like, what's the purpose of life?
How do you find your purpose in life? This is a question I used to ask myself all the time. And since you're watching this video, you probably have had the same exact question. Well, let me tell you something. From my experience of researching purpose, there really isn't that great of advice out there other than that you should just know, or that I need to wait for a vision, or that purpose is overrated. So many people are saying way too many different things, and it's really easy to get lost in the chaos when it comes to searching for your purpose. And I'm assuming if you watch any of the same videos that I have, that you share the exact same feelings. I had to work really hard and pay quite a bit of money to actually understand what my purpose is and how I can fulfill it. So instead of making you guys, buy a course or get some coaching or spend a bunch of money to actually figure out what your purpose is, I'm making this video, making this guide to finding your purpose. This guide is the only resource that you're actually going to need when it comes to your purpose. You're not going to have to go through hundreds of YouTube videos anymore. That's exactly what I did. I searched YouTube forever. I spent money, my own money, trying to figure out what my purpose was. And I've combined all that together in this concise, simple guide that you guys can follow. Another thing that I want to mention before this video starts is that a lot of the times when people are asking, how do I find my purpose? What they're really asking for is for some help. They're asking, why do I feel so unmotivated when I work? They're asking, why doesn't anything feel fulfilling? They think that purpose and finding their purpose is going to solve their problems. And it is. But it's not just purpose. Purpose, in my mind, consists of three separate almost ingredients. What I mean by that is that you have to incorporate all three of these ingredients together to get the desired results. And if you don't, then you're probably going to end up with some weird looking bread. Once you figure out these three ingredients and you start fulfilling these three ingredients, you're going to start living a life that feels purposeful. You're going to start living a life full of meaning. So just before we start this video, I want you to understand that you have to work on all three of these aspects or you're not going to get the desired results. Real quick, I want you guys to close your eyes with me. Now I want you to imagine that you're on a road in a car and it's super foggy and you cannot see anything in front of you. You start to feel stressed out because you don't know where you're going and you have no direction, and you realize that you're completely lost. Now open your eyes. That feeling of helplessness, of almost not knowing where you're gonna go in life, is what plagues so many people's minds. A lot of people live on foggy roads. In their brains, everything is foggy. They don't know where they're going. They have no sense of direction. They have no destination. And that was me like a year ago. I had just started a business and I was only doing it for money. I didn't know what I wanted out of the business. I had no vision for the business. And that's the most important thing as the owner of a business, is to have a vision for the business. When you have no idea where you're going to go, there's no way and there's no amount of hard work that you can do that's going to get you to anything, because you don't even know what you're working hard to do. That's why it's so important for you to have a vision for your future. Ingredient number one is to just have a vision. If you were on that foggy road, from the analogy, but you actually knew where you were going to go, then you would have some peace of mind knowing that you at least know where you're headed. It's so important to have a vision, because without one, you don't even know what you want. You don't know why you're working hard. You don't know why you're being disciplined. A lot of people on YouTube will say, you just wait, you be patient, and it comes to you. But I have sort of a practice that you can do with me right now. So again, close your eyes and imagine that you have infinite money. You have the house that you want, and you have infinite security. You're never going to go broke again. Well, what are you doing? What work are you doing? What does your life look like in that scenario? What does your environment look like? Who are the people that you're hanging around with? And if you're a ravenous man, then you know that there's something that comes to mind. There's some ideal life. There's that vision. There's what you want. For me, my vision is I'm living in a cozy cabin in the woods. I get up from my decked out desk setup after, working hours on my purpose. of helping men that were like me, men that actually need help. Then going outside, looking down at my rock hard abs and my muscles, and then playing with my feminine wife and my children. I find literally nothing more powerful than this vision in my head. Every time I don't feel like working, I just envision this. I think about this, and I'm just like, wow, I can do so much work now. It is the biggest motivator for me. So seriously, do that. And if you didn't do it previously, close your eyes and envision what you would do with infinite money. When you get done envisioning that, write it down in your journal and pin whatever it was, whatever that vision is, and go into detail too. Write it down in your journal, pin it on your wall, and every single time that you get up in the morning, look at it. Or when you're walking around your room, look at it. If it's out in the open like that against your wall, then you're obviously it's gonna come into your view at some point. And every single time you're motivated, just sit down at your desk, look at it. That is gonna be the biggest motivator for you, I promise. Now that you know what you want in your life, the vision that you're working towards, you might be asking, well, how do I do it? How do I get there? I want you to close your eyes with me once more. And I want you to imagine that foggy road again. I want you to imagine that you have a GPS app open and you see your destination, but you have no way of knowing how to actually get there. You know, it's great. You have your vision now. You have the destination now. But how exactly do you get there? You're going to need something like a GPS to show you the way to get to that destination. Now that's what this ingredient is. This ingredient is the way to get to that vision. It's what you clicked on this video for. It's your purpose, or what I like to call your mission. You dream of a vision inside of your head, a fantasy inside of your head. But then you'll be stuck on that road with no way of getting to that fantasy. Now, most YouTubers will say that purpose is just one singular thing. It's a task. They'll say it's either a life's task or they'll say it's a purpose. But actually, it's my belief that purpose or mission consists of three separate things. There's the meaning, the task, and the vehicle. The meaning is the reason why you do your work. It's the person that you're trying to help. And usually this will be your younger self because, you can relate to that person. And there are other people out there. For example, my case is that I want to help young men that were like me, fat and not really knowing where they're going in life and who can help them. And I want to be that person that helps them. I want to help my younger self. So when I make these videos, I'm making them talking to my younger self. So sit down with yourself and genuinely ask yourself who or what it is that you want to help. What cause do you want to be fighting for? Who do you want to be fighting for? When you find a meaning for why you're doing things, you're always going to have a reason to do that thing. You're going to be motivated to do that work. The best way to succeed in business is to help other people. That is literally the definition of business, is to help someone else. Next, like I said, is the task. The task is the thing that you can do every single day that just makes you go into flow. It makes it seem like work is so easy, that it's effortless. For me, that would be problem solving. So my meaning is to help younger men, right? That were like me, my younger self. And my task to help those people is to problem solve. Anytime that I'm talking to people or I'm making YouTube videos, I just go into this flow state where everything else doesn't matter. It's just effortless. The work is so easy to me because I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose, and I go into flow by talking problems out for other people. Can you literally imagine a world where all of the work that you do feels so easy? You want to do it. I know right now you're probably, on YouTube and you have these huge rushes of energy because you're watching these other people do things that you want to do. What if you could feel that way about your work? What if you could feel excited to do your work every single day? You literally have to pull yourself away from the desk. I have to pull myself away from this camera or away from conversations with people because I'm just sitting there talking to them and about their problems for hours. Like, you don't even feel obligated to do the work. You want to. You literally want to do the work. It brings you joy to do the work. So for this part of the video, I want you to think about what that task is. What can you do so effortlessly? And if you're really, really struggling with this, you're like, I don't know what my task is. What does that even mean? Think back to when you were a kid. What were you doing? I love problem solving. So I look back on my, early childhood memories, and I love doing math. I love taking really, really big problems and solving them. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I don't really like math itself, but I do love solving problems. And I love talking to people about their problems. I was always the leader. I always helped people with their problems. So think back to when you were a kid and think about the things that you were doing, and that's going to reveal itself to you. You see, without the meaning behind this, without the person to help or the thing to help, then the task is nothing. I could be problem solving, but if it wasn't for anyone, I would just be doing it for myself and I wouldn't feel fulfilled. Now, the final part of this mission of yours, the way to get to your vision, is the vehicle. The vehicle is going to be kind of the way that you help these people by doing your task. For example, my meaning is to help younger men, right? And my way of doing that is to help solve their problems. So a vehicle for me could be YouTube, obviously. YouTube right now is my vehicle. But other vehicles could be coaching or mentoring or writing books. You see, in all those vehicles, I'm helping men solve their problems, but I'm doing it in different ways through different means. So really think about what your vehicle is, what you want it to be. Is it a business? Is it YouTube? Is it making courses or writing a book? All of these things are going to have your purpose in them. Now, the actionable step for this entire ingredient, which is the mission, is to write down what I like to call a mission statement. An easy example of this for me would be, I'm going to help troubled young men solve their problems through YouTube. So you see, there's the meaning, which is young men. Then there's the task, which is solve problems. And at the very end is the vehicle, which is on YouTube. Now, I literally want you to pause this video right now and go do that, because if you don't do this, there's no point in watching the rest of the video. If you don't have this much commitment to just sit down and journal real quick, then you're not going to be able to go through the rest of this video and understand the concepts I'm trying to give you. Now, once you get done with that, I want you to rip that paper out of your journal, and I want you to, again, go pin it on your wall, because this is going to be another motivator. All these things are going to culminate into this purpose, this entire, like I said in the beginning, dough. You're making a dough right now. You're making the best bread of your life. It's your purpose, and you're forming this together with your vision and your mission and the last ingredient that I'm about to get to. Now, the last ingredient is the goals. The goals tie everything together. In the beginning, I showed you me making some bread, and the goals is kind of like the salt of the bread. It seems really small, but it's actually a very essential part of this entire recipe. Your goals are going to be the way that you measure your success of your vision through your mission. So like I said before, you're going to be using your mission to get to your vision. So you want to set goals that are actionable steps that use your mission to get to your vision. And one key thing that I want to leave you guys with in this part of the video is you want to make sure that your goals are achievable and measurable. So you want to make sure that you can actually achieve these goals, not make them hyper unrealistic. And you also want to make sure that you can measure the success. So for example, I'm not going to say I'm going to get 100,000 subscribers in a year. That's my goal. Instead, I would make it measurable by saying I'm going to produce 12 videos in the next 3 months, because I can actually control that. So it's a measurable goal. You can measure that yourself. Now, when you pair all three of these things together, you're gonna be super happy with the results that you get. You're gonna be working towards a vision that motivates you, and you're gonna be doing that through a mission that fulfills you. And you're gonna be measuring the success of this through your goals. Now remember, I want you to visualize what your vision is. And I want you to write it down in vivid detail and pin it on your wall. And next, I want you to write down your mission statement. I want you to write down who or what you want to help. I want you to write down the task that you're going to help them with. And then I want you to write down the vehicle that you're going to help them with as well. So for me, again, that would be helping young men solve their problems by making these YouTube videos. And finally, I want you guys to set actionable and controllable goals. Again, remember, I wouldn't be setting a goal for subscribers. I would be setting a goal for how many videos I'm producing, because I can control that. Now, this channel is a sanctuary for men that want to live the life of simplicity, of wholesomeness, of genuine masculinity and Christianity, and being close with God, being close with your feminine partner. My vision is that one day I'll have this group of young men, of these men that I've built up over time, and we're all have this idea of a simple, wholesome life where, we're with our beautiful feminine wives, and we all go into the gym and we train together, and we live this life of simplicity away from, the modern distractions and away from modern society. I spoke in one of my previous videos about this guy who he kind of left society because he was so tired of it all being fake. And that's almost what we want as this group of young men. We want to be the people that go away from society and live a simple life where we, what God says. He says, till the end. And I'm not going to be scared of expressing, my Christianity, but, having a house with your beautiful feminine partner and not being able to express the life that you truly want to other people. Because today's society preaches that you should have this life full of distractions and full of gluttony. But on this channel, we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be trying to get as many of you guys as possible to live the simple, quiet life. And I've learned things from people. I've spent money, a lot of money, trying to learn how to live this simple life and trying to remove distractions from my life. And I know the ways that I can do that. And I'm trying to teach you guys how to do that. So if you're, freshly coming out of high school, you don't know what to do with your life, I can give you guidance on those things, but I can also give you guidance on how to live that simple life. And that's the end goal here, is to get a community of men that, we all want that simple life. We go to the gym together, we train together, we come back home to our feminine wives and we spend time with our family. And I feel like that's a dream for a lot of men, is have that, compounded house with your friends right down the road and you all just go to the gym together. It's almost a childlike fantasy to have your family with you. So if you like that idea, if you like that vision, please join our community. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos. I'm going to be showing you guys the way to do this. I'll see you in the next video.